thoughtsonwriter.net. Thank you.
For those who haven't heard, Gameoverse is a new, popular indie series that Glitch Productions has decided to take under its wing. And despite only having literally just aired its first episode a few days ago, it has already gained an insane amount of hype. And of course, rightfully so. I was absolutely shocked by the stunning animation, character designs, and yo, is that All Might? This pilot had literally just about anything a series would need. An interesting premise, amazing animation, hype and awesome music, and this. Anyways though, just in case for some odd reason you haven't even seen the pilot yet, which in that case, bro, why are you here? Leave, go watch the pilot. Anyways, in this series, we follow the main character Kit as she tries to save several different game worlds from getting destroyed, and we get to see how she herself has been affected by the odd foresight hand called the Gameoverse, which is basically just if the hero in the story, the game world, beats the villain, the entire world gets destroyed, which is like, damn, it's kind of crazy. In the pilot, we are also shown how the main character's own world was literally destroyed by the Gameoverse, and how the main character continues to blame themselves for not being able to protect their family. However though, this backstory for some reason only lasts like 3 minutes, which is just kind of weird, especially since it's brought up again later in the episode. Kind of makes it just feel like they added it in just to make her actions later on in the series make more sense, and just to show that, hey, our main character has PTSD, don't you forget. Especially because the lives that were lost on the road were only shown for like a few seconds, giving me like no real attachment and reason to feel for them, other than just, yeah, that's sad I guess. Which brings me to another problem. And look, I understand that this is just a pilot and these things will definitely be explored later on in the series, but geez, it literally just felt like they had a bingo list of things they wanted to check off on the pilot just because they wanted to introduce more topics, just so that it would make sense later on in the series. But also, since the pacing was so fast, it kind of led to them giving like no time for the characters to actually mourn over the fact that the road just got freaking destroyed. Because me personally, if my road got destroyed because of me, I wouldn't even be able to function, let alone move on in like 2 seconds. Like, literally listen to this.
Ah! My home!
I'm sorry, Flappers. I know it's hard.
Man, shut up before I curse. Don't be like a goomba, bro. Be quiet.
The dialogue was also just kind of like core character developments that would take like episodes to be done right were just kind of rushed by some corny Disney ass speech, and it just felt so completely unearned. Like, listen to this.
That could work.
So let's go!
How did you get like this?
Get like what?
I don't know. Courageous? Uplifting? You were so nervous before.
I'm a Learnosaurus, kid. That's what I do. I learn.
Hi, I'm Gobbles, and you're watching the Disney Channel. Stay tuned.
This whole scene honestly just felt kind of weird because this happened just for them to lose in the end. So it's like, what's the point? Like, if that whole speech had just happened after Flapper's world had already been destroyed, and we had seen that once again it's Kit's fault for another world being destroyed, and she blames herself for it. Maybe after that whole speech from Mr. Lunosaurus over here would have hit a lot harder, and honestly would have felt a lot more earned, and would feel like Gobbles is really trying to step up for Kit, giving room for developments later on in the series, and how they could potentially move on from there. There's also a part in the pilot when we learn that telling someone about the Gameoverse will destroy their world. We learn this in a scene where they accidentally tell Flappers that the Gameoverse exists, and the world suddenly becomes threatened by huge beams and monsters. Only for this whole thing to just be like, yeah, never mind, and just straight up goes away. And stops, like, attacking everyone. Which is just like, what's the point of showing that little detail? Just for it to get retconned, like, 2 seconds later. It just completely got rid of all the stakes that telling someone about the Gameoverse even had. Anyways, though, I know that it may have sounded like I'm dogging on this pilot, but I really did genuinely enjoy it. And I am extremely interested in how the story is done moving forward. But do I think that this will be better than the Amazing Little Circus?
Nope.
Also, Editor Spider here. You may have noticed that I have like no other videos on my channel and that I'm new. So it would be absolutely stellar if you could you know, press that red button at the bottom of your corner and you know, subscribe. Anyways, bye.